Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I'll be taking a look at another winter outlook forecast, as I now have some more resources that we should look at, and I have also found a couple of similarities upcoming for this winter if you look back at our recent analogs and sea surface temperatures anomalies. And of course, before we start, for those who watched my latest video on the winter outlook, thank you so much for watching that and showing some support. Always greatly appreciated as well. If you have any questions or comments about this upcoming winter, please feel free to leave it in the comments and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. On your screen now is our current sea surface temperatures anomalies. Right now we do have, we do have a La Nina forming, as you can see in this blue area of cool water off the coast of Western South America, and we also have two warm pockets are forming in the Pacific, one in the eastern and one in the western. Almost like a little face is being made in the Pacific Ocean right now. But as of right now, it looks like this pocket of warm water is warmer than the pocket of warm water off the coast of California and Alaska. That's something to monitor throughout the winter. If you are an East Coast snow lover, you would like this pocket of warm water to become warmer and this cools off. But as of right now, it doesn't look like that is happening. If we go back to our 7-day change in sea surface temperatures, you can see it's a little bit more warming along the coast of Canada and the US. In seas between Japan and Korea and China, it is cooling off a little bit, but notice as you make your way back towards Russia and pretty much almost in the Strait of Alaska, you can see it's still warming a little bit compared to the rest of the ocean. You can also see that along the coast of South America, you can see it's warming a little bit more compared to the rest of our ENSO region. There is obviously pockets of warm, cold, but overall, as you get farther away from South America, you can see that it's mostly more cooling than warming. That is definitely something to watch as we get closer to winter here, but I just want to also point out this area along the East Coast, from anywhere from North Carolina to about Nantucket and southern Rhode Island and Massachusetts, that is a very nice cool pocket to monitor throughout winter. On your screen here is both from September but also different years. This on your left is from 2014, September 2014, and on your right is September 2019, and those are horrible lines. Before I continue with this, I just want to shout out Spot On Weather on X. He created this, I did not, and I want to thank him for posting this because this is an incredible analog year to look at for this winter. 2019 and 2014 off the coast of Alaska and Canada here, and off the west coast of the US, and even down into parts of Baja California, there is extreme warmth in these parts of the ocean. Now, what does this usually happen? This usually causes ridging to form, which allows the trough to be displaced into the eastern part of the US. But these, even though these had similar ocean-like temperatures, two different things happened. Completely different snow years for the eastern part of the US, and you may ask yourself, why is that? Because looks almost similar, besides this little pocket over here and here in between these two analogs. If we take a look at the bottom part of your screen here, you can see there is more blue in this region than on the left. On the left, we had an El Nino year, or if anything, it was closer to neutral. On your right here, we had a La Nina. This is with cooler waters off the coast of South America, and this is warmer waters off the coast of South America. Now, if we go on to our analogs here, which Spot On Weather also posted, and I'm very grateful that he did, this is 2019. Notice how it's so ridiculously warm off the eastern part of the US, and even into pretty much the whole country, I should say, is above average in temperatures. Besides the Rockies and an extreme southwest towards Arizona and New Mexico. Even then, parts of New Mexico was warm. Now, if we go to 2014, it is very cold, pretty much if you live east of the Rockies, pretty much. Anywhere east of this line was very cold. This, I remember when we had the Great Lakes frozen over for a long period of time into spring. This is when we had constant ridging on the west, probably due to our El Nino plus our Pacific ridge out over here. 2014 and 2015 is a year that I specifically remember for being one of the few years that I got into negative temperatures, and the next day was just completely freezing. Now you may ask yourself, why was it so different just because temperatures off the coast of South America? Usually with La Nina, you get troughing out west. Usually with El Nino, you get ridging persistent on the western part of the US. Now that's not always a given. Obviously, we had years with La Nina on East Coast where it snowed so much that we didn't even know where to put it. But usually on the eastern part of the US, El Ninos are the way to go for winter. Now that also puts a change into my weather forecast here. If a La Nina does form, which as of right now it looks likely, like we said in the last video, anywhere below this line right here, 0.5, for 3 months straight, we have a La Nina. Ever since pretty much, I almost want to say August 13th, 14th area, we've been below that criteria. It wanted to come up, went down. It's probably going to want to come up again, go down. And if that does happen by, let's say, late October, we would have 3 months straight of La Nina conditions. So, I mean, there's also that. There's also a part where, let's say, a La Nina doesn't form and it goes up to the neutral line. Then I think we could end up close. Sorry about that. End up closer to a year like this. If we get closer to the neutral line and stay neutral, which some models do predict that could happen, I believe we could end up with a year towards like this, towards February, March. But if we do stay in a La Nina, I think this is more likely. Probably not as extreme because we have other factors, like we are in easterly QBO, where the northern hemisphere is a little bit more, I'd say, fragile when it comes to holding the cold Arctic air in place. That allows more disruption in the polar vortex. So easily, very easily, we could see this just be completely flipped due to an attack on a polar vortex. But let's say 2019 does happen, where you could stay, let's say the polar vortex stays locked up like it did that year. It goes round and round and round. It keeps all the cold air locked up and allows the whole country pretty much to be above normal in temperatures wise. That doesn't mean you're not going to see snow anywhere across the country. That just means the overall temperatures compared to average will be above average. Now I just want to show one more thing here. I was looking through my camera roll today trying to clean stuff out. This is from September 20th, 2020. So yes, we aren't at September 20th yet, but this is from 5 years ago. And notice there is some similarities within our sea surface temperatures to right now. If one thing I would like to point out, this area right here, obviously not as extreme as now, but I'll go back to the picture right now and the picture in a little bit, but I just want to show you areas to look at. That area is a little bit cooler waters over here, but you still have a little bit of warmer water over there. But as of now, I'll go back to show you right now, just to show you. Remember, look at this area, right, pretty much southeast of Greenland. Notice how it's more colder now than it was back then. Also, you do have warmer temperatures over here too. It's not like a ring of fire disappeared and got cooler. It did got cool. It got a little bit cooler, but it's not like it's all blue now like it is over here. We go back to our current day. It is above average, just like then. Now, if we start to notice our differences compared to then, notice over here it is very cool by Korea and Japan, and obviously if we go back to now, it is very hot in that region. Now if we look here, notice we do have a La Nina right off the coast of South America. Obviously in this picture it is more of an east-based La Nina. The further west you go, the more cooler it is. The further east you go, the more cooler it is. And the further west you go, the more warmer it is. If we look at our current day picture, it is similar, but not quite. You can see it's warmer along the coast of South America. It is similar to the point where it gets cooler out here, but notice it's more of a central based La Nina than anything. And one last thing I want to point out it is a lot cooler off the coast of the eastern seaboard compared to then. It is still kind of cool, nothing crazy, but now it's definitely a lot cooler than it was back then. So with that, all that being said, let me just show this picture real quick. Anything could happen, guys. This is September 15th we're talking about. There are analogs that could help us predict winter, but I just wanted to tell you right now, predicting a winter in September when winter starts in December, maybe later, is like a shot in the dark. You will never hit this spot on, head on. You have to wait till at least late November to even get a chance at getting this correct. But it's just always fun to look at this type of stuff and take an educated guess and to see if we are correct or not. So I'll leave you guys with that. It could end up like a winter like 2014, 2015. Definitely got some similarities there. Or it could be 2019, 2020, where it was just a warm year overall. Or we could end up like a winter like 2020, 2021. That year was a nice snow year for the eastern seaboard. I remember I got a lot of snow that year. I believe I got over 40 inches that year. That was a very good winter. So we have 3 winters that we could look at. But obviously, it's going to be hard to be correct in this situation. I just want to thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for tuning in, and I will be back next week. I hope you all have a great day.